Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Rival Esports on this a Friday evening, 7 o'clock Eastern time, and a bit of an unexpected stream for us here, Sleeky, but you and we couldn't be more excited to bring this to you. We've got Rouge and eUnited, and why don't you tell the viewers why exactly are we here today, Sleeky?
So we are here today because Jamal Jabray, a team who had qualified for the spring series, was disqualified by rule. There's more information on that if you type in !ruling in the chat. And so to determine who will be taking their spot, we are having this essentially extension of the qualifiers for them. This is not a replay. It's just an extension to determine who will take the 8th seed, I should say, and move on to play G2 tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time on the official Rocket League channel.
And it is, as you mentioned, it is the kind of the 8th seed game here, and that does mean that every team that was below Jamal Jabray in that qualifier gets kind of bumped up a seed as well. So your brackets might look a little bit different tomorrow when things get rolling. But we'll worry about that later once we determine who exactly is going to take that 8th and final spot. Again, it's Rouge versus eUnited to see who qualifies for play tomorrow. And interestingly enough, Sleeky, these teams, they met in the bracket yesterday, and it was Rouge taking that series. So we'll see, can they do it again?
Yeah, they have another opportunity here. Another chance for both of these teams really to collect themselves and move on after not being able to qualify yesterday. We saw both of them play really well in the end. Obviously, they weren't quite able to make it, but now with the second chance at sort of the last second, I'm really curious to see how they end up coming into this game. Because, yesterday you had a long day. They're playing a lot of games, fatigue, potentially something on their minds, and they're really going to be coming into this game rather fresh with just the intent of knowing that they just have to win this series and they're in. So it completely changes the entire dynamic.
That it most certainly will. And again, there's a lot on the line for this as well. Not just a spot in tomorrow, but you get money for playing in tomorrow as well. I think it's $13,000 you win if you win this one series, with the potential to win much more throughout the weekend. But that's quite a lot on the line, though. These players, all professionals here, so they've played with this kind of pressure before. How do you think that this one series, they learned about it today? What do you think they're going to do with that kind of pressure to perform here?
Well, I agree with you. I think the fact that these are both RLCS level teams means that they are used to being in these high pressure, when one game is all that it matters situations a lot. And so I think they're really just going to come in with their normal game plan. I don't expect to see anything too out of the ordinary. I just think that with it being sort of last minute today, we're going to see them be a little bit more fluid, a little bit less tight, as they're just going to be able to come in, play their style of Rocket League, and figure out what they need to do to move on to playing again at a very quick turnaround tomorrow.
And again, we mentioned that they're taking that A spot, so that turnaround is right into G2, and that is going to be quite a difficult one for whoever does take this. But again, if you're either of these two teams, I don't think you're looking towards that bracket. You're paying attention. You're focused up right now on minute 1 of game 1. And we saw, we here at Rival watched Jamal Jabray take down Rouge in that qualifier, and of course with the disqualification it ends up not mattering, but it still kind of gives that indication that Rouge, they ended up getting reverse swept in that series. You've got to imagine that that's got to be resting on their mind coming into this against eUnited.
Yeah, I definitely think that's going to play a factor, because knowing that the team that's no longer there is the reason that they were sent down to the lower brackets anyways has got to be critical for them here. And now they have an opportunity to redeem themselves. But eUnited as well. We saw them play really good yesterday, and now they're going up against a team that beat them. So there's a whole lot of multifaceted dynamics going on here as far as which of these teams is going to be able to come out strongest and really look to grab the win the most, because there's a lot of guaranteed money on the line by just winning this series as well.
That there most certainly is. And of course, we did see Rogue with that new lineup that they were sporting yesterday. Kronovi, First Killer, and Turinturo. And again, I mean, outside of course, that couple of games we saw them drop on stream, you know, they were playing fairly well. I'm still interested. I'm still not 100% sold on Turinturo in the lineup. It seemed like in that matchup against Jamal Jabray yesterday, they looked a little bit shaky at times. Do you think they've kind of got that mentality back? Do you think they're focused up here and it's going to work out a little bit better for them today against eUnited?
I think they do sort of have that mentality back. I think one of the critical things in games like this is you can't really think about what happened yesterday. You can't let the sort of mistakes or whatnot that you had going on yesterday affect your decision making and game plan into this. And I think for really both teams, but especially Rogue, you need to just come into this game having, I mean, obviously minimal discussion about how you're going to prepare for it and just play Rocket League. And I think this might be an example of just the purest form of Rocket League from both of these teams, because you don't really have all that time to prepare, to look over footage, to talk about what tactics might work with this player on that side of the field. And in these situations, if you're in a 1-on-1 with Ajax, how do you want to respond? Because that's something a lot of these teams do. You're just coming in, and this is essentially a scrim just with way more on the line.
That's true, and to your point as well, of course, these teams have matched up previously at multiple levels. I mean, of course, in the RLCS just this past season, we've seen them play against each other. So it's not like they're unknowns to one another. It will be, however, a do or die situation. You've got 5 games to prove yourself here and play into tomorrow. So we'll just have to see which of these two teams going to be able to do that. And before we get started, we are almost underway. Before we get started, I personally would like to thank everybody at Rival Esports for turning this around and bringing this to you guys right now. This was a team effort through and through. Of course, all of the match admins behind the scenes as well, Furtive, CJ, D-Pants, everyone chipping in, doing their part for that as well. And you know, I'm so glad I can be working with a team that is this dedicated as Rival Esports is. And you know, again, Simpson, gotta mention Simpson on the broadcast, coming in clutch, broadcasting for us today as well. And Sleeky, I think it is finally time. It looks like it's Rogue and eUnited taking the pitch now. Game 1 of this best of 5 just about to be underway.
Yeah, we're only a couple of moments away. And before we get truly into it, Hunted, you know I gotta ask you, who do you think is going to take this game? I'm going to go ahead and say eUnited, but I'm curious to see what your take would be.
Yeah, that's a tough call. And, you know, I think it's going to come down to this first minute, and I don't want to run too long here, but you know what? I'm going to go with my gut feeling. We'll go with Rogue. Take it in 5, Sleek. It'll be a banger of a series. As we are underway. 15 seconds in. No score on the board. It'll be in the Rogue corner. They're playing in that blue. Turinturo, First Killer, and Kronovi. As here's Hoxer for eUnited, trying to go over top of everyone. Can't get by Kronovi. And for that eUnited squad in orange, Ajax, Hoxer, Memory. As Hoxer's going to take a quick shot. There's Memory on the follow off the post. Hoxer tries to get the redirect. He can't quite put that one home. So we continue to play 0-0, but some good pressure early on here from eUnited.
Yeah, I'm seeing them really try to set up plays early on here. They're looking for passing. It's starting to work for them a little bit. They're getting slightly too aggressive. It's forcing them to get not the greatest of touches when they rotate back, but I just like the early offensive pressure we're seeing from eUnited so far in this game.
Here's Turinturo trying to relieve some of said pressure. Flip reset through the midfield. Ajax will reject him there. Memory now taking care of First Killer. This is going to come off the wall. Hoxer's there. He's got the angle, but not quite the power. That's an easy save for Turinturo, as now Ajax rotates forward. There's Kronovi off the corner wall. Memory will pop it up. He corralled off the back wall, and Hoxer just wanted to keep the offense going. Not a whole lot to speak of so far for eUnited. They've had the pressure. They've got 5 shots, but not a whole lot of threatening play so far on the blue goal.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a timid start here for Rogue. eUnited have just controlled the pace and style of play up to this point. It's still likely to change because it's a 0-0 game, so even though eUniteds have the pressure, they haven't been able to capitalize on it just yet. Memory comes very close to capitalizing on that situation there, but Rogue holding on for now. We'll see if they can end up turning this into a counterattack.
Yeah, here comes Turinturo down the wing. He's got first killer across the way. Hawks are up for the challenge. Kurnovi late on that challenge. It'll force first killer to make this play. Memory trying to follow it up. And some hesitation there from the veteran striker, nearly costing Rogue the first goal. As we pass by this halfway point, no score game one. This is going to be Turinturo bouncing Hoxer off the ball. Here's Kurnovi. Now Memory out of the corner. Got to go one-on-one with first killer. First will take the boost, makes the challenge, and the ball's just going to remain at mid for the moment. As neither team really able to secure possession, the struggle is there. Kurnovi, the demo on the backside on Hoxer. That's Turinturo, but the shot not on, and this should be Ajax to clear.
One thing I'm noticing out of this Rogue team right now, Hunted, is they're playing very defensively. I'm seeing them give a lot of space on the ball. They're not too quick to try and mount a whole lot of pressure. They're content to try and let eUnited make the mistake and then collect it in their own half. I feel like they're looking for a counter-attacking opportunity. Still, neither side has scored, so we're unsure of which is the appropriate strategy, but I just worry for them giving eUnited that much space to work with.
It has been a battle of possession so far. Nobody on the scoreboard with just under 90 seconds left to go here in game one. As Memory looks for an open goal, Kurnovi is there to play it off the post. He'll play this off his back wall as well. It's a secondary touch. Ajax not going to be fooled by that one, though. He's around Turinturo, pass down to Memory. He won't even go for it. First killer already in the air. That will take us to the final minute. Still scoreless here in this series. First goal likely going to be the game winner if things keep up the way they have been, as this is Kurnovi down into the orange corner. Hoxer bounces it out. Great pass to first. He fires and it's saved by Ajax. That's the best save of the game so far.
I mean, half excellent positioning, half just lucky. That's where the ball was placed, but either way, a massive save there on the goal line to keep this game tied at 0. And now with only 30 seconds remaining, more pressure being mounted by eUnited.
Here comes Memory. First killer. Good position to clear it away. Ajax will have to play out of his own zone. Solid touch from Ajax. Going to send Memory down the wing. 15 seconds left to go. Back wall. Kurnovi will corral it. Down to first killer who plays clear. Ajax. Now Kurnovi. Maybe one more chance for Rogue. Turinturo looking for Kurnovi. Didn't have the boost to get there, and it will wind the rest of the time down. 1 second left. So that's going to touch the pitch. Here we go, Sleeky. Overtime game one. Nobody on the board yet. And this series turning into a defensive struggle early on.
Yeah, it just feels like a battle of play styles with eUnited trying to just mount pressure, but Rogue handling it well. They're being so patient on their end. They're just allowing opportunities to present themselves instead of trying to make it themselves. And up to this point, it's worked, and we're seeing them get opportunities. I'm really excited to see who's going to be able to come away with a victory here.
First goal of the series will take the victory here in game one. As Kurnovi's looking for it, it'll bounce out towards Turinturo. He's over Ajax. Hoxer just narrowly avoiding that bump from Kurnovi. Makes the play. Now first killer, back wall. Hoxer a light touch. Memory's going to chase after it. Can't beat Turo. This one will pop up. Crow is there. Trying to play this out of the corner. Here's Ajax. Now first killer to Kurnovi on the breakout. They're back to the midfield line. They'll be met by Memory. This falls down to Turinturo. Can't get it by. And again, find ourselves back to this midfield game. As here comes Memory. That one will go well wide. Ajax was looking for a follow-up. Can't beat the defender. And we've played just over nearly 6.5 minutes of Rocket League. Still scoreless in game one. This series promises to be one that both teams likely going to use as a ton of momentum, not just for tomorrow, but for down the line in general. This is a very important series for either side, and this first goal going to determine a lot of it. Here comes Turo. That's back while memory down to Hoxer. They will try to play clear. Kronovi will take it away. No follow-up from Rogue. Ajax, not the greatest touch. This will be first killer's opportunity. He gets a bit of a flip reset, but can't do much with it, and Hoxer will play it away. Ajax there in support. 2 minutes gone, OT game 1.
And I can see a change happening on this Rogue side. This sort of morphing before my eyes on it. I've been saying all game long, they've looked a bit defensive. They've been waiting for mistakes. But now, especially as this overtime begins to wane on, it feels like they're starting to knock up the pressure a bit to start to get back in front of goal. That actually comes really close. But Rogue now sort of taking a page out of eUnited's book and just applying their own pressure when they make it downfield.
Here's Ajax, might have a chance. He's got memory there. It'll fall straight down. Memory gets denied. Turo, solid read off the back wall, able to keep Rogue alive here in this game. This is Hoxer now. Looking for Ajax across the way. First killer will break that up, and back the other way we go. This is going to be Turo. He's got Kronovi lurking in mid. Opts to play it into the corner, where Hoxer will collect. Doesn't grab the boost, but he gets by 2 defenders. First killer again. Solid challenge through midfield, keeps it in the eUnited half. This will be all the way across the pitch. Hoxer is there to send it back. Memory. Watch first killer play this one forward. Now Ajax back to midfield. Turo. He'll pop it up. Has a ceiling touch. There's a second one, but nobody in position for Rogue to follow that one up. That's a free clear for eUnited, and you can tell both teams not wanting to give up that one crucial mistake to end this game, as we've played over a game and a half in game 1.
And I think the key part of that is really just how much effort both sides have been putting into this game specifically. With each passing second, each passing minute, the getting a victory here becoming that much more important, because every second that ticks off that clock counted is an extra bit of momentum and will come your way if you're that team that's able to find the single goal to decide game 1.
That's definitely the effort put in by both teams, as you mentioned. Getting more and more as time continues to tick by. We're nearing that 5-minute mark in OT. Still scoreless as Turo. He's going to play that off the ceiling. Ajax over to memory. Kronovi rotating forward. He'll play this along the wall. Now Ajax. First killer and memory will meet each other in the corner. The ball will be played back down. Memory going to chase after. He's got 3 to beat. Well across the way where Ajax tries his luck. Bit of a double commit there from Rogue, could be dangerous, but a double commit in return from eUnited gonna take away that offensive opportunity, as now here comes the transition. Ajax up to make the play. First killer to Kronovi, the deflection, it's back to first, but Hoxer's there. And again, both teams can't quite find their shot, as the defenses have been quite solid.
And defense has been the name of this game. Could be another opportunity right here for Ajax. First killer just able to find the touch of that in time. And that has essentially been a recurring theme, especially for this overtime, with just opportunities looking like they might find their way through, and then a last-second defensive stand by either side to keep the overtime going. We played an additional entire game of Rocket League here in OT alone.
Now first killer's up for it. He's got Turo there. Ajax will break it up. That'll force Kronovi back to his own zone. He'll pick up that corner boost, try to play it off the ceiling. Gets it to mid, where memory will meet him. Over the head of first killer. Only Turo to beat. It's a 3-on-1 if they're quick. Hoxer looking for the demo, but memory can't get the ball out in front. And Turo will walk away with the defensive stop. This is going to be Kronovi off of the back wall. Give it away to memory. First killer up, solid read there. Hoxer's looking for the challenge. He'll keep it in the corner. Ajax looming. He'll turn on this one. Might have a shooting chance. Looking for the far corner. There's first killer to Kronovi. That'll send eUnited packing yet again. Hoxer has to cut across to make the play. We continue to play. 0-0. OT game number 1. Memory to rotate forward. Hoxer. Back wall, there's memory, he gets a touch. It's a scramble out in front. What can Hoxer do? He can't quite get it over. And eUnited's gonna have to walk away. Close call again.
Oh, that was an opportunity to say the least for eUnited. I thought for sure with the ball just chilling out in front of goal right there that they were going to be able to not get through, but Rogue positioning themselves in just a way where I felt like eUnited was scared to overcommit there and potentially give themselves up to a counterattack. You know, I think as time goes on, that might be how these teams are playing, Hunted. As another one comes close, it feels like, especially with this super long overtime and so much on the line for this series as a whole, that they just don't want to make any mistakes. They'd rather just not have the opportunity.
That was nearly one. The double commit from eUnited, nearly getting punished by Rogue. First killer to Grenovi, and it's just wide. Still the pressure's on the eUnited half. This is out of the corner, pops up for Hoxer. Grenovi's trying to cut this one off. It'll bounce right into Ajax, and he'll send it on. 7.5 minutes gone in OT, and this has been an absolute standoff between these two squads. Nobody cracking the defense yet. Hoxer might have a chance. They'll get rejected by Turo. Now Grenovi, he's got Memory to beat, pushed it a bit too far, and Memory no problems with that. So here's first killer. Has the flip, doesn't use it. Ajax will at least try to get it out of the corner. Bit difficult positioning here from eUnited. They're getting starved on the boost a little bit. Solid touch there from Memory. Now first killer has Turo down. Nobody's in goal. It's off the crossbar.
Oh my goodness!
And that stays out. We continue in overtime game one.
What? What was that? What is this game? We're 8 minutes into overtime. Opportunities galore, and somehow that ball doesn't find the way in the back of the net. It was an incredible save. Wow.
And now Grenovi trying his luck again. That's off the post. And Rogue still pressuring. First killer fires and scores. It's over. Game one to Rogue. It took 8 minutes and 38 seconds. They finally end OT, and we'll head to game two with Rogue in the lead.
I tell you what, Hunted, there was a lot of things, okay? There was a lot of things coming into this that I thought were going to happen. I thought we were going to see a close game. We're absolutely seeing a close game. I thought we were potentially going to see some overtimes. That was definitely an overtime. What I didn't think we were going to see is an over 8.5 minute overtime with so many opportunities on the goal line that it is absolutely insane. I mean, just taking a look at their shot counters tells you so much. But that save on the goal line there, I can't even believe it. And finally, Rogue able to sink their way through. That is huge for them. That's like winning 3 games in and of themselves by just grabbing that one goal. That's massive for their momentum moving forward in this series.
And it, like I said, it was a standoff for most of that game. And you mentioned the shot counter, and just a bit of a counterpoint to that. I mean, the shot counter, yeah, it was high, but we played over 10 minutes, like 12 minutes of Rocket League, and I think Rogue had maybe 16 shots. That sounds like a lot, but when you play nearly 3 games, it's a wonder that eUnited were only or allowed only 16 shots, as Grenovi will flip the script to start game 2. 3 seconds in, Rogue on the board.
Well, it took 818 seconds to find a goal in game 1. It only takes 3 to find it in game number 2. But Rogue, the same one to find it in 1, are going to find it here as well. And so they continue their lead, and that's the momentum I was talking about there, Hunted.
And we'll see if that continues for Rogue. There's Grenovi. He's got the first of the game. We'll see if that's all that they need in this one. I have a feeling eUnited certainly going to ramp up the pressure as time continues to tick by, as that's right into Grenovi. Double commit, Memory and Hawks are up for it. This will be Turo around the sidewall. There's Hoxer again, first killer. He's got a ceiling play, but it is a bit too far. eUnited on the back foot early on in this one. They've already conceded once. The pressure is on here, and it's going to be an important stop, I think, for eUnited right now, Sleeky. They can't afford to go down 2 to Rogue, who's got to be feeling themselves after that win.
Yeah, it's a much stronger start here for Rogue as well. It seems like all the timidness that we were seeing, and I'm not really gonna, I don't want to call it timid. Let me change that. It seems like the defensive posture that we were seeing from them last game is evaporating under the heat of the pressure that they're bringing in. His first killer almost nails that one in the back of net.
Yeah, but it's Memory to make a beautiful save. We've seen him do that before, as he's gonna have to make another one here. First killer testing Memory as much as possible early on here in game number 2. He's come up with 3 saves so far, has Memory. It's kept in a 1-goal game, 3:20 left to go, as now Turnturo. That's right into Memory. He's gonna pop this one up. Ajax there for the clear. Hoxer will help it along. He's by 2 defenders. Only Turnturo is back. Hoxer looking for the pass. Will find Ajax, but Kronovi on the back wall early, able to make that touch, and eUnited again have to walk away with nothing to show on the scoreboard. They still do not have a shot, as Ajax has to make that save on first killer. Kronovi to follow it up, and Memory again will make the play. They've got plenty of saves to eUnited, but they need some more in the shot counter.
Yeah, United they need to try and channel a lot of the energy we were seeing early last game. They're playing a lot of Rocket League in their own half right now, just defending against these balls from Rogue. They need to try and, if they can, recapture the pace of the game, because as we cross over into the second half, if they continue to let Rogue control the ball like they are right now, it's going to be so difficult for them to get back on the counter, because Rogue has shown how effective they are defensively, even if it's a quick counter.
Now, it's still eUnited trying to muster some offense. They've got a shot on the board. Nothing where it counts so far. 1-0 in favor of Rogue. 2 minutes left to go. Good passing play to first killer. What a move, he scores. Beauty from first killer. 2-0 for Rogue.
Rogue starting to take off in this game. It's a wonderful passing play. 1, 2, 3. First killer with the fake. That absolutely is taken by Ajax. And we see them now with a 2-goal lead. This is their opportunity to potentially go up on series point if they can hold on, Hunted.
And what a series point it would be. A marathon of an overtime game 1. Quick goals in game 2. There's a third. It's Turnturo with his first. Everybody on Rogue chipping in now, and it's 3-0. And here, Sleeky, if you're eUnited, something has got to change, and it's got to change in a hurry.
I think the primary thing that eUnited needs to change right now is just sticking with rotation. It feels like they're nervous right now with the pressure that they're under from Rogue, and they are not rotating in the way that they should be. We're seeing them clump up a lot, going for boosts where pads are available. I know in situations like this, you're just trying to make sure you're in the best possible position, but you've got to take a step back and think about where you're playing these balls, because Rogue is absolutely on top of their game right now, especially after that critical win in game 1, and they're not giving eUnited any time to breathe. Kronovi gonna knock that one through off the bar, and they continue to just rack up the score.
And this is a nice read from Kronovi, too. This comes straight down off the bar. No panic from Pro there. He reads it all the way. He'll put it in the back of the goal. 4-0 favor of Rogue. We brought up the shot counter last time. And just to remind everyone, we played 8.5 minutes of overtime. Rogue, how many shots did they have? They had 16 shots. Well, guess what, Sleepy? Right now, they've got 11 in this one. And we've only played these first 4 minutes. That'll be another one. First killer will send that high. I'm sure he'll want that back for the stats. But either way, it should most certainly be a Rogue game 2. And they're going to sit on match point for the next couple of games. And this is a wonderful position to be in if you're Rogue. The only thing, and I have to mention it, Sleepy, we have to mention it, is that we've seen them 1 game away from qualification once before. They were unable to do it then, and they're going to have to do it now, and arguably eUnited, an even stronger opponent than Jamal Jabray was.
I don't know if I would quite say that, but they're definitely top tier competition for them in this game. I know all the Rogue fans watching right now are going to be glad to see Rogue go up like this, but probably are, like you mentioned, a bit nervous. because this is not the first time Rogue has been in this situation, not even with this tournament like you were saying. But this is their chance, and they're in a really good spot to take it, especially that game 2. It felt like eUnited just couldn't find a gas station to find any fuel to start getting into the next gear because they were just slow. Rogue was able to beat them to it. They were able to take advantage of the space on rotations. And in the end, I really felt like Rogue just was in complete and utter control of the pace that game.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And, you know, you talk about being nervous as a Rogue fan. I think after that game 2 performance, you've got nothing to be nervous about. It was a well-played game from the 3rd second to all the way until the clock struck 0. Rogue never taking their foot off the gas. You can tell that they do not want a repeat performance of yesterday, but that doesn't mean that game 3 doesn't need to be played. They still got to take one. They've got 3 games to do it. But if they continue to play the way that they've been playing, it's going to be fully in eUnited's court to change something up. They've got to get Rogue off their game right now because it is looking devastating.
I mean, devastating at this point, almost being an understatement. eUnited, I know that they've got the talent on that team, and I know that they have the ability to get this series back under their control. But with a Rogue team that feels like they're playing hot right now, they're going to need to do something out of the box here in Game 3. Otherwise, they're going to be back to where they started, watching the spring series from home.
Well, here's first killer, nearly an opportunity early in game 3. Just couldn't quite get around it. Rogue putting on the pressure already. Turo's got first killer there all by himself. He'll shoot. Great save from Hoxer. Just on the goal line to make the play as first killer again cheating forward. Turo maybe looking for the pass. Won't quite be able to find it. Crow got to be late to that challenge, but it almost careens in. Ajax in a tough spot, and it'll bounce out into the corner. eUnited just trying to hold on for dear life here early on in game 3.
We're seeing Rogue putting on so much pressure. Memory able to get in front of that. And you know, one thing that's interesting, I think could open up the game for eUnited as well, Hunted. They haven't scored at all this series, not a single time. Not one goal put into the back of the Rogue net. And I think if they can break that barrier, it could be a theoretical, like, flooding of the gates. But it's going to have to start with them getting on the board. And I have a feeling that if Rogue is able to do that before them, it could be dangerous territory for eUnited to try and find any momentum in this game.
Certainly one of the keys to winning Rocket League games is to score goals. And as you said, eUnited unable to do so through the first 2 games. Still looking for the first one here, as it's going to be Memory into the blue half. First killer off his own back wall. Ajax will challenge. Hoxer with the read. Can't get it by Turo, and now eUnited back on the defensive side. Good clear for Memory. This is Hoxer in transition, looking for Memory on the pass. Going to be harassing the offenders as they come into the zone. This is going to bounce down in front. No problem once again for the blue defense, as this time it's Hoxer out of the corner. Trying to rotate around. Turo is there, and it'll bounce down and through Memory. So back to this same style we saw in game 1. A lot of midfield battle, looking for that mid control as Memory will find the tiniest of spaces, and eUnited finally on the board. They get the first here of game 3.
And you know, it doesn't matter how tiny the space is, as long as it's big enough for that ball to squeeze on through. And that could be the crack in the dam that eUnited was looking for. We'll see if this is a springboard for them to try and bring themselves back in this series. But they still have a long road ahead of them on top of holding on to this lead.
And they do need to hold on to said lead for the next 2.5 minutes. They want to take this one. Course of game 4 has turned. Turo solid pinch. Is that in? No, it's just off the post. Ajax watching it ring there, and he thanks his lucky stars that one doesn't go home. Now Turn might have another shot. He hits the crossbar. Vernovi rotates forward, and that's why Rogue can't quite find the equalizer thanks to the crossbar's performance there. Now Hoxer going to battle first killer and Vernovi in front of his own goal. This one will bounce down. Memory back to midfield. Now Turo, he's going to go up the sidewall. Has first killer lurking, waiting for this touch. This is going to be Hoxer. Now Kronovi up for it. What can Crow do with this? Not much, as Memory able to play it away from him. Now Ajax around turn Turo. Nice move. By first killer as well. No double touch, and Hoxer just not close enough. Can't quite find it. The play back is in. Unbelievable speed from Rogue. We're tied at 1.
What a shot. I just want to see that again. Well placed, Turo. That's a snipe into the top left corner. A goal. Such confidence going for that as well. And especially with the game potentially on the line, you get things back level. You got under 90 seconds to go. That could be a momentum swing that Rogue needs to just close this series out right here.
Tying things up when it looked like eUnited might have been able to take that 2-goal lead. Certainly throwing a wrench in the gears of eUnited now. They've got to score another one. They've only been able to muster 1 goal so far in the series. They'll have to double that to force game 4. This is Hoxer. He can't get by first killer. Kronovi is there. That'll be Memory to play it away, and he's by first killer as well. This will force turn Turo back on his own back wall. Final 40 seconds left. Out to midfield. Hoxer will meet him there. Now first killer beating Memory. Rogue, potentially a final opportunity as Ajax not the greatest touch. Hoxer will be there for the save. Now Turo again forward. There's Kronovi. Pass down to Turo, just a bit too far behind him. Can't find the pass back, and the ball wrestled back into the eUnited hands. Final 15 seconds left to go. Will we see another OT? Maybe if eUnited can put this one home, we'll avoid it. 10 seconds left, and last opportunity if they can turn. Will just bounce through midfield. I think both teams not wanting to overcommit to this one, Sleepy, happy to play for overtime.
Yeah, I think you're right. Hoxer looked like he was trying to pick it up, but it wasn't the biggest of dives. Overtime again in game 3. We saw an 8.5-minute overtime earlier. Maybe we'll see a 9.5-minute overtime here. As long as it's exciting, it doesn't really matter to me, but I would love for eUnited to win this game just to keep watching these teams, because it's been a lot of fun, but it might just hit Ajax able to reach for it just in time.
And you mentioned that the next goal needs to be eUnited's if we want to continue to play this series. Turn Turo, that's down. First killer off the bar. Kronovi is there. He'll push it high. Had a couple defenders to beat. He couldn't quite do it. Nearly the series over. With that push from Rogue, they'll have to load up and try again, as this is first killer. Rotating around, Turo. Oh, what a shot! It's in the net! Beauty from Turing Turo. Rogue will take the series in 3 straight. Have fun tomorrow, boys. G2's waiting.
What a shot to end it as well. Rogue have got to be so pleased with themselves to come into this. They have another opportunity to go in the spring series, and they do not waste it.
No, and what an unbelievable performance from Turin Turo here in game number 3. I mean, just that final shot alone, sensational. A great angle, a beautiful redirect, and I don't think anybody from eUnited ready for that shot. I don't think anyone was expecting that level of shot from Turo. And we talked about, will he fit in with the team? Sleeky, I think that's got to prove at least a little something in favor of the new guy there.
Yeah, and he looks like he's fitting into the team. They've definitely fit into the bracket. Again, just to remind everyone, with Rogue winning this series, they are in the 8th seed, so that means you'll get to see them first match of tomorrow on the Rocket League channel at 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 p.m. Eastern time as they take on G2. And that gives them one more chance to be in at the end of all ends for this Hunted on Sunday, which, don't forget, will be broadcast on ESPN2 at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So Rogue has a beautiful road in front of them. I was happy to see them take it here with such style, and I can't wait to see what they do tomorrow.
Well, it took 3 games for Rogue to secure their date with G2. But unfortunately, that means that is all of the time we've got here on the Rival Esports channel. We thank you all so very much for coming out and watching this one. And again, I have to say a huge thank you to everybody that has been a part of the effort to make this possible today for Rival Esports. What a turnaround. So glad to be part of a team that works quite as well as these guys do. And an even bigger shout out to Simpson as well, our broadcaster for today. Thank you so much for all of your time. But Sleegy, again, unfortunately, that's it for us. We hope that you enjoyed. And please make sure you follow the channel Rival Esports here for when we go live for some more Rocket League coverage in the future. Until then, thank you all again, and we'll see you next time. Smile.